Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
Dandy, John, Howard. All of our guests today, including Craig Button, are brought to you by the Bayside Oceanfront Resort. Located oceanside in beautiful Parksville, the Bayside Resort is one of Vancouver Island's premier spots to get away, unwind, and recharge. With a locally inspired menu in their breathtaking restaurant, their panoramic ocean view guest rooms, and on-site pool and fitness center, the Bayside Resort, your one-stop shop for relaxation. Book your island getaway today at BaysideOceanfrontResort.com. Technical difficulties out of the way. We move on here and joined by, as we always are on a Tuesday, TSN Scouting Director Craig Button. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Like, if it's not technical difficulties, it's difficulties of another sort, isn't it? And Rick,
yeah,
love the shirt. Love the shirt. Like,
thank you. Craig,
you're rocking it today. You're rocking it today.
A compliment from you is the best thing in the world. Best thing in the world.
Hey, Craig, what do you know of, or maybe you know her, of Emilie Castonguay from the Canucks hire?
Well, what I would say is that if you wanna look at a path to follow that puts you in position to be in a front office of the National Hockey League, Emilie is a perfect model. I mean, number one, she played hockey. But then she realizes after playing, I'd love to be part of hockey. So what can I do? She interns with Pierre Gauthier with the Montreal Canadiens. Then she goes, wait a second, I'm going to go to law school. And then she goes and gets her law degree. And then she becomes part of a player representation firm. So when you start to think about everything that, fuels the fire, of somebody so passionate about hockey, gaining a background, gaining a knowledge, gaining greater understanding at each successive path. And as a player agent, you're talking to NHL teams, and you're talking to different managers, and you're trying to come up with solutions, not just on contracts, but with development, with what's best for a player, trying to be patient, helping players deal with feedback, both positive and negative, and going all the way along that path. So she finds herself uniquely qualified because of the qualifications and the experiences. And then now, Jim Rutherford says, hey, she's absolutely the right person for the job. And that's what I would say about Emilie. I think it's fantastic for the Vancouver Canucks, and for Emilie Castonguay. When I talk about, the path, I mean, she's exactly a role model for anybody, female or male. Yeah. If you want to go along the path to get into the front office of a National Hockey League team and ultimately be a general manager, because there's no question she has the talent and the drive, and now she gets to learn under one of the very best in Jim Rutherford.
Yep. In the recent past, Craig, the Canucks got criticized for having too lean of a front office, and now we see that they've hired a couple of assistant GMs. Jim Rutherford is there. There's going to be a general manager named, maybe another assistant GM. How much is too much?
Well, here's what I would say, and I think that Jeff Molson, when he talked about hiring Jeff Gordon, and he talked about Marc Bergevin, he said, he wished that he would have added more help from Mark. He said we need more voices, not less. And I think Francesco Aquilini, came to the same understanding. Like, it's a big operation. It requires a lot of work in a lot of different areas, and you can't just have one or two people doing it. I know that back in Dallas days, when I worked in Dallas, Bob Gainey was our general manager coach. Now, Bob would be the first one to tell you that when he was coaching, 90% of his time was in the coaching office. But we had Doug Armstrong, the current president and general manager of the St. Louis Blues. We had Les Jackson, who's done everything in the game and was the assistant manager, and then myself. So even back in the 90s, we had four people that were working. Then Bob became the general manager and Ken Hitchcock became the coach. But there was lots of elbow room for everybody. And I don't think it's so much about how many people there are, as much as what are they contributing, and do they have the elbow room, using a Bob Gainey term, to operate without getting in each other's way. Francesco Aquilini says we need more voices. We need diverse voices in the hockey operations area. Now it's up to Jim to surround himself and to build it out. And, ultimately Jim is the one that's going to have to say, okay, this is what I need. This is too much. This isn't enough in this area, and go from there. But I think that, ownership is realizing it's a big job. And it's not a one-person job or a two-person job. Anybody that thinks that, they're going to make big mistakes.
Hey, Craig, I'm going to ask you, you dealt with agents a lot when you were the GM. You had to. What do you think about this trend of agents getting hired in NHL front offices? Bill Zito, Kent Hughes, now Emilie in Vancouver. What is appealing to these NHL teams about agents?
Well, number one, we talk about the relationships they have with the players and understanding that as they work with young players, remember, they're recruiting young players long before they get to the NHL.
Yes, 14.
So they've built up this, so they're building relationships and they're helping. They have to give the players a lot of feedback as they're growing. Remember, they recruit players that are the very best at the age levels, and now they have to work with them through that period of time where they might not be the best and they're learning and developing. Then you're working, and trying to find solutions, whether it be a contract, whether it be, okay, send them back to junior, or, give them an opportunity. All the conversations that go on with respect to outside of contract negotiations, but development. They're at the front lines of development. They understand that. They understand the relationships. And, again, from a part of the business that's really important for success, the salary cap and negotiating contracts and everything else aside, you want to be well-rounded in your front office when you're making decisions. You want voices and you want input from different perspectives so that you put yourself in a position to have as much information to make the best decision possible given what you have. So I don't think it's so much about agents. I mean, we've had agents, Brian Burke was an agent and he came into the business. There's other agents that have been approached about being general manager. Mike Gillis was a general manager, a former agent. So this isn't new. I think what it is just an understanding that we have to be more well-rounded in the front office. And I think that when you have people that have been involved in player representation, it adds a real significant aspect to your operation.
Hey, Craig, Team Canada Hockey Canada has unveiled its men's rosters, Team Canada roster for Beijing. Do you understand why Eric Staal would want to go there?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I think Eric Staal, hadn't been playing, and then probably, from what I understand, Hockey Canada reached out to them when the NHL players weren't going and asked him if he'd be interested. And Eric went and got himself into shape and played some in the American Hockey League. And I think he's excited to be part of it. I mean, you reach a point in your career where, Eric's not the same player he once was, and you reach that age you're not going to be. But he can be really influential with the group. He's been in the Olympic environment. He's been a leader on a Stanley Cup team. He's been part of a winning Olympic gold medal. So for all the players that are coming into that, and to be able to have Eric just be a calming influence off the ice as well as an influence on the ice, you reach a point where you want to contribute in different ways, not just on the ice. And I think that becomes massively appealing to Eric Staal. And I think it's tremendous for Hockey Canada.
One more, Craig, very quickly, but Chris Kreider leads the NHL. He got his 30th goal last night. I know he plays with Zibanejad and Panarin, but is there more to what's going on with his success?
Well, I mean, he's fast. I mean, I think the team is a very talented group up front. I mean, you have Adam Fox on the blue line who can really create more space for Chris Kreider and get him the puck in the right spots. His 30th goal is a great example. But sometimes, when you think about it, Chris Kreider's never scored 30 goals in his NHL career, and now he has. Now he's got a chance for 50. And Adam Graves scored 50 in his NHL career. And if you had to name 50 goal scorers from the New York Rangers, I don't think you'd name Adam Graves right off the top of your head. But sometimes, you get to a situation where everything goes right for you. I mean, Chris Kreider, I think it has shown that he can score 25 despite never getting 30, maybe because of injuries. He's always shown that he can be a real capable player. He's just making everything count this year. I wouldn't say he's a 50-goal scorer, but Jonathan Chichu won the Rocket Richard 1 year too, playing with Joe Thornton. You don't discount it, but it doesn't mean they're 50-goal scorers.
First New York Ranger to score 50 goals. Remember the gag line? Vic Hadfield. I knew you knew that, Craig. I didn't have to tell you that.
I did know Vic Hadfield. Vic Hadfield played in Pittsburgh when my dad was an assistant manager and general manager, and Vic runs a very nice golf academy and runs a golf course in Oakville, Ontario. So Vic had the hands in hockey. He had the hands in golf.
Yeah,
nice.
Number 11 in your program. Craig, thanks for this. Appreciate it.
Great shirt, Craig. Great shirt. I love your shirt.
No way. This is just an everyday wear.
No, it's great. It's a good shirt.
Looks good.
Your shirt stands out today.
Thank you, my friend. Oh, yeah, my day is made. My day is made.
Thanks, Craig. Talk to you next week.
Thanks. Yeah.